It's actually Robin, but to all the kids, I'm Gigi, Grandma. I am the grandmother to 3 young boys, and their mother is a teacher. And as of late, she is teaching homeschool classical conversation. We are in cycle 1, week 13. I have just jumped on the bandwagon, so I am new in trying to follow what my grandsons are learning. So this week in art, they're learning about an artist named Giotto di Bondone. And when they were pronouncing it, everybody was saying Giotto, kind of like Geppetto, but I think the real pronunciation is Giotto di Bondone. And I never heard of him before. He's from Florence, Italy, in the late Middle Ages. He did lots of Gothic work, and he was a Proto-Renaissance period artist known for his famous frescoes and architecture. He was also an architect. He was born July 1266 and died January 1337. Can you imagine? His legacy follows him. It's all over Europe. It's over 700 years, and his art is still bringing people by the millions. Such beautiful art. And you know, I was telling my grandchildren, they didn't have cell phones, they didn't have telephones, they didn't have TV or radio, so their communication was just wonderful when they got together with one of their other artist friends, and they could exchange ideas. So they put more time in their work. They had more time. So that's why I think it's so great. That's my personal opinion. Actually, they said he was the first great Italian master. I thought it was Michelangelo, but no. Anyway, he was called the father of European painting. He did panel painting and gilded, which means lots of shiny gold around the panel, and painted Jesus in the middle with one of his favorite ones. He also was the innovator of the way art was going to be done after the Renaissance. He was, they say, 100 years before his time. After his death, people were still doing his way of painting. They were still exercising his methodology and his medium, which was not just paint. He dealt with pigmentation from stones and the earth, and he dealt with some forms of their old mortar and cement. And then I tell the children, it's like whipping up cream with a little cement and a little color, and then you make it and it turns hard. And that's how you see some of his paintings in chapels. They feel like thick frosting that turned to cement. Beautiful works of art. You can see them. You can Google them. We don't even have to go to Europe. A few facts, and I'll try to make it quick. There was a famous family called the Severny family, and they were very wealthy people. They lived in Italy. Very, very wealthy. They were bankers. They owned banks. But in those days, they were kind of frowned upon because they were called the users, because they made money. You know, like nowadays, we just expect it. But anyway, they wanted indulgence, which means they wanted to have favor with God because they knew everybody kind of hated him. So Mr. Severny built a chapel, and it was right near all these beautiful Roman old places and amphitheaters. And in the chapel, he hired Giotto Bondone to do frescoes and artwork, and everything's religious. Giotto loved to do art from the Bible. He made the stories come alive with his art. So to make it to a child's level, I've decided to do it with paper because we're not able to quickly do cement and pigmentation and all of that. So we're going to make a fresco, a form of a fresco, out of just paper and simple household things where you don't have to spend a lot of money to educate your child and to intellectualize the importance of these museums and these great artists. So here is an easy way to get little ones to remember this great artist's name. Think of Joe and toe. Giotto di Bondone. So think of Joe as a toe in the day of bologna, of bologna. So it's Giotto di Bondone. Have your children repeat it 3 times, and they'll never forget it. And I think it's wonderful to start them when they're little with hands-on projects. They have little muscular memory where their hands can tell their brain, oh, this was fun, this was exciting, and they will never forget. So please have them tell it back to you what his name was and what they made. My 2 little grandsons, one is named Jacob. He is 4 years old. He chose to do an angel. And then the other one, the 7-year-old, kind of thought angels were girly. So we made a cross out of popsicle sticks, and I'm going to share them with you in just a minute. Thank you. Okay, so here's what you'll need. Now you can, improvise, and you can just use whatever you have around the house. So don't spend a lot of money. I have these canvases because I like to think I'm an artist, and so I just had them. But you could use a piece of cardboard because you're going to paint it. Also, some very cheap paper plates, where I buy the cheapest you can get. You can buy a big old stack for like $3 or go to the Dollar Tree. Anyway, we're going to need a couple of these. And then here's a fresco. It's a resin one. It's a reproduction, but I wanted to share it with you. This is of an angel, and it says, "The Lord will command his angels to guard you in all your ways." This is from Psalm 91:11. But look at the texture. This, can you imagine this man, Giotto, did these by hand? Nothing to copy, just from his heart and maybe from the Bible. But you can feel it, and they would cemented in walls, and it's still there 700 years later. So that's kind of an example of a fresco. It doesn't have color though. And this was what I used to show the children. It's just a little cheap piece of art, but when you put your fingers on it, you can feel the outline of the art. And that's how a fresco is. You can feel it. And there's some gilding. They used real gold, and so his things in the chapel were grandiose in gold. Okay, so that's my example. You need some paint. I thought we'd make kind of a midnight, kind of a silent night sky. So I just got a blue out of my paint box. Any blue will do, just what your child likes. And then I got this puff paint at the Dollar Tree. I got 4 of them for, I think it was 99 cents. And this has lasted me about a year. You don't use much, okay? It's kind of a gold glue. And then some Mod Podge. If you don't have it around the house, just mix half water, half white glue. It makes kind of a shellac. Okay, and then you're going to need some gold. Any gold will do. I have a light gold and a dark gold. This is a shimmery gold. You can use any gold you have. You can even use crayons. Okay, and then I got very cheap glue, white glue. And then I had some glitter. You don't even have to use glitter, but I had some. They sell this at the Dollar Tree too. I got 2 for $1. And then I had some punches. Now you can buy stars, draw stars even if you want, but I liked, it was much cheaper for me to buy a 79-cent 8x10 piece of shiny paper, and I made a punch. I had a star punch, but you don't have to make them. You can just put little globs of gold paint or crayon. So this is how you make a punch. You put the paper in there and you push down, and there's a star. So I've made a little box of stars, and then I made a halo with my circle punch. Here's a circle punch. And the circle punch, you just, same thing as the star, you push, and there's a little circle, okay? So you can draw the circle. You don't need a punch, as I said. Now this is the fun part. I really enjoyed doing this with the children. See the paper plate, the rim, the circumference? We painted it all gold and let it dry. And we made angel wings. See the angel wings? Out of this. And then we just threw some of this glitter from the 99-cent store on it. Just very little, but it gives it that kind of gilded Renaissance look. Okay, so there are our little angel wings. Okay, and then with the same circle hole punch, you use the middle of the paper plate, and we made some angel faces. Now I just drew them on, you know, from the top of my head, and the children like to choose them. They might like to draw their own. And then that's it. And so here we have the angel face, the stars, the halo, the angel wings, and then I bought like a stream. This was $2, and you got twice as much of little sticky stars. That way it will give you the illusion of a depth, you know, where you have big stars and small stars. I made this quickly to teach my grandchildren how to make one. This one was made by my little 5-year-old Jacob, and he had so much fun he sang while he made it. This one was made by 7-year-old Robbie, and it's 2, I think they're tongue depressor sticks, and he made them look like wood, and this was Robbie's. Now, what I told them to do was, and I'm going to do it with you, you shake your blue paint, any color blue that you want, you put it on your paper plate, about a tablespoonful, and then you mix it with some ordinary water because the paint is too thick. So you dip it in water and that's about it. Okay, and then you just start mixing, just like that. Okay, and then you take your canvas. I have glitter on it, excuse me, and you just start painting a blue sky. So mine's going to go this way, so I'll paint in that direction. And I told him, don't worry if you can see white through it, because the sky looks like that. And you just paint. Now don't forget to dip it in water first so it's, you know, not gooey and thick. This makes it so much easier to apply. And there you go. And can you imagine, I also told the children, put it above your head. Imagine the artists painting like this for hours, their neck and their back. It was really a labor of love and an homage to God. You would do this for hours. Okay, so we're almost finished. That did not take long. I also have the children date the back, so have them write their little name on the back with the year, and you'll be so happy. And we're going to bring ours out at Christmas time. It isn't really a Christmas thing, but it is a religious thing of the time and culture, where it was very, very respected in those chapels to see the stories. There's Moses, and please Google Giotto's work, especially there's some in the Louvre in France too. But please let your children see them, or go to the library and show them a book. The pictures are just fabulous. Okay, so because of time, I'm not going to second coat this. It's good enough. Now what you do is, I'm going to leave my brush there and wash it later. I'm going to get a little Mod Podge. Like I said, if you don't have Mod Podge, mix half white glue and half water, and it will do. But I have some left over. I've had this for years. So, now I'm going to get another brush. Any brush will do, just a different brush. Put it in water and get some Mod Podge. Now, you're not going to do it all over. You're just going to quickly do it. Not a lot. You don't have to make it perfect. That's the beauty of it for little ones. Just da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so we're done with that. So now we're making kind of a dreamy sky. We've got the Mod Podge on. It wasn't in perfect order, and we don't want that. And we just sprinkle glitter, make it look like far away stars. And not too much. The children loved this, but you got to tell them not so much. Okay, so that's done. I'm not going to blow it off till it has time to dry. So now that's finished. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some white glue, and I'm going to put little dots where the large stars might be. So you're going to have a circle here where the angel goes. So teach your children to put the stars on the outside. If you don't want to do it in that order, you can do your cloud first. But because of time, I'm going to show you how to do this. So we put a dot there, and a dot there, and a dot there, dot there, dot there, dot there. So now we've placed our glue dots, and that's where the large star goes. Now remember, if you don't have stars, you can draw one in or just put a glob of gold paint. Now this white glue will dry clear, so don't worry about it. So here's another one. You might want to press down a little bit harder after they've dried for a minute or two. Okay, so this is where the angel lives in heaven, and the stars are glowing and shining. And so the large stars, I say, give it a depth. So now we'll get some little ones. This is a little bit harder to do these little ones because little hands can do it better than my hands. So you put a couple little stars around. If you notice, ours has a few stars around too. So, and don't worry that the Mod Podge is still wet. It's not going to hurt anything. It might even make the stars stick better, you know? So I'll put a few more just so you can see what it looks like. You can give your child a lesson that they will remember their whole life in less than an hour. And I suggest to have things ready ahead of time. You know, lay out their table for them until they're a little older. It's not that hard. And imagine you're giving your child a history, a significant history lesson. Remember, improvise with your mediums. You know, you don't need, if you don't have some kind of paint, use a different color. You can have a white sky or a gray sky or a gold sky. So don't feel like you have to be regiment in art. Also, I don't know if your children know this, but everyone is an artist. Everyone is an artist. It's what you think of it. There's no way to do anything perfectly when you do art. That is the freedom and the gift and the beauty of art. And I love it. I'll do 3 more. 1, The little ones are very difficult to get in there. I think the most time is getting these little ones in there. And remember, you don't even have to buy these either. You can draw these in too. I just got everything with a coupon. These stars that I didn't make, I got for 99 cents. I think they were $2, but I had a coupon. So think ahead of time. So now we have our canvas painted with all the stars. Now the children got a blow dryer and stayed far away and dried it quickly, but we're not in a hurry. But you can do that if you're teaching, all your children or more than one. And you just put it on warm, low, and hold it about 2 or 3 feet away, and it'll dry the paint quickly. Another hint is don't let the child put it on too thick, okay? It's very thin like I showed you. So the next step is we're going to create an angel. Now, I just cut out these pieces of white paper and drew a circle, and this would fit inside the spin art thing. But I noticed my batteries are dead. But what you can do is, if you have one, so if you have a little spin art thing, some parents do, you have the child hold some gold paint and do 2 drops. That's it. And it goes round and round and round, and that's what makes the halo-like aura effect. So now my batteries do not work at this moment, so we will improvise. But what we're going to do is we want to make the shining glory of the angel like a firecracker bursting in the cloud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some gold paint, shake it up, just put it right in the middle, 2 drops. 1, 2, and then I'm going to get a brush and I'm going to just make the sparks come out like that. See, you can do that. You don't need to have the spin art thing. I just thought if you had it, it would be nice. So there you go, and that is the shining glory that the heaven. This is our cloud. I got carried away. It's a little thick, so actually it might be better to put the gold on a paper plate with a thin brush, okay? So then this is glitter glue, so I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to go woo and woo and woo and just put glitter. And this will take probably a day or 2 to dry. So I did this because my spin art machine is not working, okay? So there we go. But it's much easier if you do it the other way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, now I have these special scissors. You can use pinking shears. You can use regular scissors. I've had these probably 20 years. But they kind of make a pretty edge. Because we're trying to be time efficient, I'm going to go ahead and just cut it. But you could wait till it dries. Okay, so there is my shining glory cloud, which shows the heavenly sparkle of the angel. So I'm going to go around, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. And there's our cloud. So now we're going to put some glue here. You can kind of guess in a circle like that. And I'm going to put my cloud down like that. You can put it in the middle. I like it a little bit on the top. Okay, and later as it dries, you can get, like the back of your brush and push it down. There's no hurry. At home, you can wait of intervals till it dries. Okay, so there's our cloud coming out of heaven. Now for the angel. This is the part of the paper plate. See, I'll show you. It was just cut from the paper plate, and you can make the angel's body as wide or as thin as you want. So now we are going to make her, the children like to make her silver. I made mine gold, but they wanted to make her silver. So that's what we're going to do. So you just put some glue on her, like that. I'll use my finger. The kids can use a brush if they want. The finger makes you feel more hands-on. Keep some paper towels and maybe a little water or baby wipes around. And then you just get your silver glitter that I got at the dollar store and sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And then the angel has some glitter on her. There you go. There's her body. So lay her body aside for a minute, right there. Now we're going to choose a face. Now your children can draw their own face with a pencil or crayon. I quickly drew these. So I think I might choose a sleeping angel. I kind of like the little, this one has a face, so I'm going to make a sleeping angel. So I choose her. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find a halo. Here are the gold halos out of the hole punch. You don't have a hole punch? Use the bottom of something. You could draw this and you make a halo. You don't have to have gold, you can paint it. So what I'm going to do is you always put the halo first. So I think I'll put the halo right about there and just push it down right there. And the angel's head. So now I'm going to get the little angel's face and put a little dot halfway of the halo in the halo space. So there you go. So there is the angel's face. Okay, so now we're going to get her some wings, and I'm putting the wings on before her body. Here's my little box of wings. Now let me show you again. The wings were just made from the same paper plate. You see, like this, and then you just cut them out. It's easier to just paint the whole circle gold and wait a half hour or an hour, and then cut the wings out, okay? So I'm going to choose a pair of wings for her. I like that one. I like fat ones. So those are her wings. Let's see, maybe I should go like that. Okay, so I'm going to glue her wings on, and I think they go about where her chin is. And there we go. And it's okay if they kind of stick out, because remember, it's three-dimensional. So there is one wing, and there is her other wing. And now I think her body is almost dried. Let's see. So now the angel gets her little body. So I'm going to put a kind of a triangle like a piece of pizza. There's that, there's that, there's that. And then we're going to put her little body on. And I'm going to tuck her body a little bit under her head. There. So now there's her little halo. And after a while you can wipe it shiny dry. Okay? So there you have it. Your fresco out of paper. And I think that Giotto would be very proud of you. Now another suggestion. After about an hour or half an hour, you can get a little tip of a Q-tip or a paper towel and a little bit dampened and shine up your stars before the glue turns it kind of opaque. And it'll work. This one, they turned out shiny, and I did that with it. And then again, press them down, because sometimes as they're drying they pop up. And so let's put our new one here. There we go. We did this together. Moms and dads and boys and girls, you can do it too. So I hope you enjoyed our art lesson for this week. And if you did, please tune in next week when we do Ghiberti.